Hi, thanks for joining us with Back to Tech Basics. I'm going to go over today how to use a spreadsheet. So this is something that you want to do if you're making a table, if you have any data you want to keep organized. I know some people use Word for this, but I would suggest always using Excel or a spreadsheet program. Google also has a spreadsheet program through their Google Docs, Google Drive system, and it's really easy to use and it's free. So we're just going to go over some basics here. Once you get to know it, you'll probably like it, but it does take a little bit of time because it works differently than most any other program that you've probably used. So what it is, it's just a table. So there's rows and columns, and then each little box is called a cell. So what we're going to go over today is how to enter a budget, something that you might use pretty regularly. So across the top, you want your just different items and titles that you're having. So cost, due date. So item cost, due date, this is a budget, that's what you'd need for it. Then I like to bold the top just so it stands out a little bit more. And fill in the rest of your data. So rent, utilities, cable, insurance. And then cost, how much do you spend on it each month? These are all made up numbers. Okay, and then the due date, so when each thing is due. I just typed in 11-1 there, but it put in the actual year behind it, and I'll show you how to change that if you want. No, it didn't do it that time. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to format the numbers. So there's two numbers I want formatted. I want the due date formatted, and I want the cost formatted so that has a dollar sign in front of it. So let's do the cost first. So this whole row or column is going to have all of this. B is going to just have monetary values in it. So we can highlight that whole thing, or we could just highlight where we want it to change. So I'll highlight it all because it's all going to be monetary. So come to format, number, and down here is a dollar sign, or there's one for currency, financial, so a few different options here. But I want the dollar sign, so I'll do that, and it changed. So due date, I don't really want the date, like the year on it, because it's the same, you know, each month of the year, so I don't need that. So I can still go to format, number, and then here it just says August 5th, so that's how it will be. You can do this in Excel. The process is a little different. In Excel, if you right click, it'll come up with formatting options and you can get to it that way. Okay, so next we're going to go over formulas or functions. They're called formulas in Excel and functions. So you can see here more functions in Google. So this basically, you can do almost anything you've ever wanted using these, but it gets a little tricky. But we're just going to start with doing the sum. That's a pretty easy one, and there's shortcuts for it. So in here where it says fx, that's the function bar. You probably won't actually use that, but you can look there and you can see how the function or formula will appear there when we're going through this. So we want to add everything here. So you can either highlight everything that you want to add or just click in the box below. So we're just going to click here. Then you need to find this symbol that looks like a weird E or a sideways M. That means sum. So you click there, hit sum, and then don't read this because it's confusing. But basically it's just asking you to highlight what it needs to add because it doesn't know because we didn't have that highlighted. So you just come here, you hold down your left button and just highlight all of it. Okay, so it's highlighted, and then you can see here, and you can see up here as sum B2 through B5. So B2 to B5. So that's what we want. Everything looks good, and then you just hit enter, and it puts it in there. Since it's a formula, anytime you change anything here, it will just automatically change it, see? So that's really awesome. There's a lot of things you can do, division, multiplication, anything like that. You just would come over here to functions or formulas in Excel, more functions, or just use these here. You can always search on Google for more if you need to figure out how to do it too. So let's go over one other thing, sorting, which is really useful too. I mean, say we want this November 20th to be at the top, and then you want it to go backwards from there. So instead of just changing all of this, what you can do is highlight everything that you need sorted. So highlight the middle part here, because you don't need the 1950 highlighted because that's the sum of everything here. So highlight it, go to data, sort range, and see right now it shows column A, B, and C. What you want to do, because you have item, cost, due date, you want to click data has header row. And then it will come up and say rent 1500 November 1st, because what we didn't do is highlight the top. So just come back here, highlight everything. This shows how important it is to highlight the things that you need to sort, because it will really mess up all your data if not everything is highlighted when you do a sort. So that's the one thing to really look out for. Okay, so now if you hit data has header row, it comes up with item, cost, due date, because we don't want those sorted. You know, you don't want item to be at the bottom, you want it to stay at the top. Okay, so we're going to sort by due date, and then we're going to sort, so A to Z is first to last, Z to A is last to first. So just hit that last to first and hit sort, then sort it. So November 20th is at the top. And just make sure, like I said after this, that everything you wanted sorted has sorted properly. And you can do this in Excel also, and my article goes over how to do that. But with all of those tips, you should start using your spreadsheet to do a whole lot of things. I really love it. Once you play around in here, the basics are pretty easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time. So I hope that was helpful. You can always contact me with more questions at Back to Tech Basics. Thanks for watching.